Happy New Year, ladies and gentlemen. It's 2024. Pretty wild to think about that we're already here. And New Year's bring New Year's resolutions. So is 2024 the year that you're going to make a change? Are you thinking about or have thought about maybe timing the market and buying a home? Or maybe you've put it off and this is going to be your year for change? Or are you in a home right now currently and you want to upsize or you want to downsize, or you're thinking about the future and you want to eliminate steps, or you want to move to a new school district or a new part of town or near your mother or brother or sister? Now might be your time, but the best thing that you can do is not go to open houses. It's not even really to talk to a lender. It's not to browse Zillow. It's to come up with a plan, because without a plan, the end game is in sight, but you need those steps in order to get to that end game. And this is a very complex process, but it's totally achievable. It's just coming up with the right plan that makes sense for you. Now, as we all know, resolutions are great. However, it's important to put that resolution in the context of making it achievable in reality. So for example, if you plan to go to the gym, 2024, you can't just say that I'm going to go to the gym. You gotta put it on the schedule, or you gotta make it into bite-sized increments so that you can follow through with that. And buying a house or selling and buying a new house is that same kind of position. It's an intricate process. It's very complex. There's a lot to do and a lot to think about. In coordinating with your realtor, that's going to help you break those into the simple steps necessary in order to make that resolution a reality. And the next 12 months is going to fly by. I promise you, it always does. So let's break that into digestible pieces that we can execute to make that dream a reality. My goal is to bridge the gaps between the thought and the execution. And sometimes you just need a little bit of help with that. And that's what we're here for. A lot of people will just go to open houses, or they'll browse Zillow, and that keeps their attention for a week or a month maybe, and then that desire kind of fades out because you don't know what the next steps are. So again, that's what I'm here for, is to break those steps into digestible pieces so we can execute on what you're trying to do. Now, if you've been strictly timing the market and you've been thinking about buying a home for a long time, I understand the hesitancy to not pull the trigger, especially in the last few years, because it's been crazy. But I hear a lot of excuses on the way, like, interest rates are too high, or I don't have X amount saved up, or I don't make X amount of money. And that's fair, but it's just because you don't know what the lending guidelines are. So if you're looking to buy a house and the financial concern is a barrier, it's important to talk to somebody. So for example, the 3 or 3.5% down typically has better rates than even the 15 to 20% down loans. And then I hear, well, then the mortgage insurance is going to be super high. Well, how do you know that? You got to talk with somebody. And even if it's not feasible in the moment, they can get you, and when I say they, I mean a lender or a banker, they can get you on track to make that a reality. And again, it's not knowing what you actually need to purchase the house. So you don't need 15-20% down to buy a house. You only need 3 to 3.5%. You don't have to have a 760 credit score in order to buy a house. There's a lot of barriers that I think people get in their mind that aren't necessarily a reality. Now, if you have a home to sell and you're wanting to buy a new one, it's a process, guys, and it's not a scary one necessarily. You just have to have the right counsel and guidance. This is a big deal, because our goal in selling your home and having you buy a new one is to make sure that you're not homeless. So we enact what's called a home sale contingency to prevent you from being homeless. With that said, as a realtor and broker, we're also trying to maximize every penny that we can get out of your home. And sometimes that takes a lot of work on both of our ends. But again, this whole thing is to create a plan of action to enact, to make that dream a reality. So if your home needs some repair, we go over that. If your home needs some modifications in order to net the highest price possible, that's what our guidance is for. And I've seen homes that are really, really rough and homes that are showroom ready. And everyone needs its own little tweaking. So my guidance is to help you maximize every penny that we can, because you're going to need it on the next house, whether you're applying those proceeds to the down payment of a new one, or you're applying those proceeds to pay off for the work that you completed on selling your home. It's all a process, but again, we are here for guidance and counsel in order to set you up for success on purchasing a new one. Now, please don't hesitate to reach out. Whether you're thinking 2024 is your year, or you're thinking maybe 25, 26, 27, whatever it is, I don't care. I've talked to a lot of people out of buying and selling homes, but that's only because it didn't make sense. This whole thing has to be appropriate. And I don't want you making an irrational decision just based on emotion. I'm here to provide some words of wisdom to you in order to set you up for your ultimate goals. And sometimes that does make you move to another side of town. Sometimes I talk you out of a home that has foundation issues or soil issues, or maybe I can provide some insight as to why that might not be best for your long-term goal. But this whole thing, it has to make sense. So whether you're thinking about buying or selling this year or next year or 10 years from now, I don't care. I just want to be a resource for you in the time that you need it. Please don't hesitate to reach out. My number is below. If you're interested in your home value, there's also a link below to give you a rough estimate. If you need something more detailed, of course, always here to help you. Please don't hesitate to hit that subscribe button. That helps me push this out to others as well. God bless, Happy New Year, and have a wonderful day.